Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, amma ba'da. Habata fillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As'al Allah kareem, Rabbil arsh al-azim, and yatawallana fi dunya wal akhirah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, to accept our good and forgive our evil, protect us from kulli su' wa makruh, bless us with ikhlas, with thabat. Habata fillah, the Salaf as-Salih, ridwanullahi alayhim, they had a very they were very vigilant in striving to seek Islamic knowledge, and also in practicing ilm. And this is illustrated in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs us that Allah azza wa jalla says, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ, that verily those who fear Allah the most are the ulama. So the ulama, habati fillah, they are those who adhere to the book of Allah and the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they are those who do this based on knowledge. So those are the ones who strive in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to seek knowledge, and the knowledge they try to implement it. And this is the way and the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the sunnah of Islam, to strive to attain Islamic knowledge, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning the ulama in a praiseworthy fashion when he says, إِنَّمَا يَخْشَى اللَّهَ مِنْ عِبَادِهِ الْعُلَمَاءِ, verily those who fear Allah the most are the scholars. And the scholars, ahabati fillah, the scholars, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is praising them here, one of the reasons he's praising them is because they fear him. And guess what Allah loves? He loves when you fear him. He loves when you fear his punishment and you accompany that, of course, with hope for his mercy, and you accompany that with love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and humility before your Lord azza wa jal. And so the ulama, they are those who are the best in knowledge, and the ulama as-sadiqeen, those truthful ulama, they are the ones who are best in amal as well, because they practice the Quran and the Sunnah based on the knowledge that they have, which is a high level of knowledge. Our Sheikh Sulaiman al-Rahili, hafidhallahu ta'ala, he mentions about this ayat. He says, فَالْخَيْرُ كُلُّهُ أَوَّلُهُ وَآخِرُهُ وَالظَّاهِرُ وَبَاطِنُهُ إِنَّمَا هُوَ تَحْتَ رَايَةِ الْعِلْمِ وَالْجَهْلُ شَجَرَ لِكُلِّ شَرٍ فَالشَّرُّ كُلُّهُ فِي جَهْلٍ. Sheikh Sulaiman, hafidhallahu ta'ala, he mentions about this ayat, or in context, in relation to this verse, he says, فَالْخَيْرُ كُلُّهُ, meaning it is all good. What? Knowledge is. He says, أَوَّلُهُ وَآخِرُهُ, the beginning of it and its end, that which is apparent and that which is hidden. إِنَّمَا هُوَ تَحْتَ رَايَةِ الْعِلْمِ, all of it is under the flag of knowledge. That's the best. And those are those who fear Allah the most, and they are the best. And then he says, وَالْجَهْلِ, he says, jahl what? Ignorance. He says, in ignorance it is one of the branches, or it is the tree for all evil. Ignorance is the tree for all evil. Think about this. Think about this in your life. When you meet racist, evil devils, usually their racism is predicated on what? On ignorance. When you see the prejudices of your brothers and sisters in Islam, who think they're better than you because their skin is lighter, or their skin is like this, or their hair is like this, or their culture is like this, it's based on jahil. It's based on ignorance. Because how could they say that when there were prophets of Allah, alayhim afdal salatu wasalam, who had the traits that they run from? So how is it you could think you're better than those traits? And evil comes and is a part of shar when we look at when people do evil behaviors, evil conduct, aside from the racism, aside from the prejudice, when people are so ignorant and they use drugs and alcohol to make their lives happier. This also comes from a type of ignorance, because this is temporary. And the one who truly knows, I'm not just talking they have ma'rifah, they know, they have some basic knowledge or they know about this, but the ones who practice, the ones who really understand the import of doing the haram actions, then they have removed themselves from jahl in that instance. So ignorance is a part along with evil and sin. And that's why Shaykhana said, وَالْجَهْلْ شَجَرَ لِكُلِّ شَرٍ. And then he says, فَشَرْ كُلُّهُ فِي جَهْلٍ. And he said, evil, all of it, contains ignorance. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Almighty, to accept our good and forgive our evil, protect us from kulli su wa makruh, wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad.